So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to change the starter in a 2003 Nissan 350z. This is the VQ35DE engine. But yeah, let's get started. The first thing to do is just jack up the car safely. Use wheel chocks if you have them, and if you don't, invest in them. Don't be like me and use bricks. Before you start, you're going to want to remove the battery so you prevent any fuses from being blown or prevent the risk of getting shocked. So all you have to do, well, not remove the whole battery, all you have to do is disconnect the negative cable. There's a 10mm right here that you can unscrew to loosen this. Luckily I can just kind of wiggle and take it off. So I'm going to take it off, tuck it back somewhere where it can't get near and touch. So before I get started, I wanted to give you guys a look at what the new starter looked like. I am using the Ultima brand starter, and I got it from O'Reilly Auto Parts. If you watch any of my previous videos, you're probably thinking I should probably just get sponsored by them already. But anyways, it says this is a premium quality remanufactured starter, so I guess we'll see how that holds up. So when you open the box, it's just the starter inside. There's maybe a few handouts, pamphlets, but this is what it looks like. And so just to give you guys an idea, there are two bolts that we're probably going to be looking for. An electrical connection right here, and this screw going on too. I will include it in the description, but also it is the R612905A if you want to use this exact same one. Otherwise there probably are OEM replacements from the dealer or wherever you want to get it. So just for clarification and reference sake, the location of the starter, if you're looking at the car, you want to look on the passenger side and then get underneath it, and you'll see that there's like a little wrench kind of hanging out. That's basically where the starter is. I put it right there to mark the location. That is where you'll find the starter. Essentially it's attached to the bell housing. So that is kind of parts of the starter right there. What I'm going to have to do is to access it, I'm going to have to take this little plastic covering off. So it's really low to the ground, but there are screws kind of like this on it. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that one's, there should be one there, but that's broken. And maybe 2 little pop rivet things right here. But I'll just take the plastic thing off. They can be either 10mm or just a Phillips Crosshead. If you have one, use a pry tool to take out this pop rivet thing. There should be 2. My car only has 1 because the previous owner was an ass. So it should be fairly easy to take out. They're little plastic things. Be careful with them, otherwise you might break them. Okay, there we go. Oh, you know what? I missed one. Looking at this little splash guard thing, it looks like there's a lot of oil that dripped on it, and so that might also be the reason why that you can't really see or make out what my starter is. It's in a lot of black burnt looking oil, and that's also probably the reason why it's no longer working. I did get my valve cover gasket changed. I think that fixed the problem for my oil leak, but yeah, there's still lots of leftover burnt oil here that needs to really just be cleaned off and wiped down. So I ran into a bit of trouble yesterday. What the problem is there are 2 14mm bolts that need to be taken off. So what I did is I got a little bit of a PB blaster to try to help loosen them up. I also got a bigger handled wrench I borrowed from a friend, ratchet, and then I also got a, in case, I don't even know if I'll have this much clearance, but this is a 2-foot breaker bar. So you're going to encounter the most difficulty with those two bolts. I'll use the new starter to kind of demonstrate what I'm talking about. The trouble I'm having is that the starter is kind of oriented like this. If you were underneath the car looking up, this right here, the 12mm, is fairly easy to take off. You just kind of come around the side, take a wrench, reach in, it'll come off fairly easy, and there's a ground in there, a ground wire that you can just take off and like fold back. This electric clip, you just unplug, pull out. The problem is up here with these two bolts. They are two 14mm. They are on pretty tight, and if it's been a while, they've probably rusted, or when they were put on, they've been impacted on, so they don't want to move. What I'm going to do is spray these down with a PB blaster, tap them a little bit, and then try with maybe a longer handled wrench, and then take those off. But once you take these off, it's basically loose. And the other problem is, like, if you're looking at it like this, there is a cat brace about like right here, or maybe more up here, and it kind of stops you from easily accessing that. And it's held on by four 14mm, two on the cats, each cat, and then two on the actual bell housing. So what I'm thinking of doing is taking that brace off, and then maybe I can get more access to these two right here. Alright, so I'm going to start by hitting the screw with a little bit of PB blaster. So these are the placements of the two screws. If I can show you at my best. One right there, and the other one up there. And then the motor is on the other side. That's the electrical connection. So this is the bell housing, and then this is that cat brace that's in the way. Sorry if I sound really repetitive and redundant. It's just I'm trying to give you guys as much vocally as possible. So yeah, two bolts, 14mm. Right there is the rest of the starter, the electrical connector, and then down there more, that's the rubber, the rubber protector on the ground wire for the 12mm bolt. I'm probably going to remove this cat brace next, so stay tuned. Oh, okay. Got somewhere. Let's try it again. There we go. So basically, 14mm open-ended side, and then the half-drive breaker bar right there, and that should got it open. So now we'll try to do the same for the other. So at this point, I basically got the idea to use the 14mm and the breaker bar on the 14mm that's on the starter. So assume that 14mm is right here, the bottom 14mm holding in the starter. I put the closed circle end onto that, and then I had that dangling. And then I used the 1/2 drive on the breaker bar to kind of just fit right there, and then I just turn the bar. Oh shit, did I get it? I hope to God I got it and I didn't break it. Oh my god, I got it. That fucking worked. Hell yeah. Alright. That is one dirty ass bolt out. Alright, so this was the screw. It's dirty as shit. Definitely worth cleaning it off and putting anti-seize before reinstallation of the new one. Alright, so now I got the cat brace off. There is a lot more space here, so before the brace would be going through right here. Now I have a little bit more space to get my hand in here. And so if I can show you with some light, there was the screw that was taken out. There is the other one. push here and then pull it out. Let's see if I can get with one hand, I don't know. Alright, hopefully you saw that, but yeah, just push in here and unplug, and that's done. And then, so for this one right here, yeah, so you pull this back and you'll expose that screw right there. It is a 12 millimeter. I've already loosened the hell out of it, so it's easy to show you and demonstrate. But basically, you pull that thing back, you take this 12 millimeter off, and then once that's off, you can just easily, this is a ground wire, so you'll expose basically, if you take that off, you can pull it off like this. Yeah. Okay, so after about an hour of trying, I finally broke this loose. When you're spraying PB Blaster on it, it's cool to spray it in the front, but you'll also want to try and spray it in the back. Let me get a hand in here. You probably won't be able to see very well, but it's open now. So remember that this is the only thing that's holding the starter in. There's a little shield thing here that we're going to want to keep on. Or we're going to want to keep anyways. That's what holds the other end of the plastic clip. Okay, in. So take this out, take the shield down real quick. And so now I should be able to wiggle this guy loose. Okay, there you go. There you go. Alright, come out here. Come here. So maybe you actually won't have to worry about it dropping on you. There's a whole fuck ton of shit here. I'm gonna have to move the light out of the way, but you guys kind of see where it's at. I'm gonna pull it out this way. I'm going to pull it out. Oh shit, there it is. This fucker is heavy. Okay. Make sure that wherever you bought your starter from, you keep your old one and you return it. Get back that core charge, that core fee that they charge you, that extra 30 bucks or whatever, depending on where you live. You can get that money back. Keep your old starter, return it. But now let's try and get the new one in. I'm now just going to be putting back the starter motor. So I'm going to fit it right there. The teeth will match up with the flywheel, so that part goes inside that hole right there that you see. And then you just put the two bolts back on, you reconnect the wire and the ground wire. See that? Got it in the hole. About to fit it through. Now, let me just go ahead and get the first screw through. So yeah, I did also put some anti-seize onto these screws. So this middle bracket, it goes on with the top screw. It goes in like that. This is where the electrical clip is held. So just to kind of give you a quick look, I got the electrical wire on. I got the two bolts on, the 14 millimeters, one up here, one down here. So there's the bolt, there's the other. Those are on. The electrical wire is on. It's a little short, as you can see. This should be sitting on this metal thing right here, but it's not. It's not because it's too short. And that last ground wire right there, right here. There we go. That. So the wire is placed first, and then the screw on top of it, and then this will cover it. So now I'm just going to tighten everything down. So, although my experience with it was hell, I do want these to be on fairly tight. Alright, so that looks like the end of that. Let's put the negative cable on the battery back on and give it a start. Before I actually get ahead of myself, let's put this cat brace back on. I guess before you put this back on, you could actually just start the car and make sure it works, so you don't have to retake it back off if it doesn't. But I'm at a point where if it doesn't work, even after I start it, I almost don't even care anymore, and so I'm just going to put everything back first and then give it a start. So now we got the cat brace back on. Final thing is to not forget to put this back on. It was a little plastic cover more towards the center. I'm not sure what exactly this is called, but don't forget to put this back on. After all that bullshit, we finally get to work a little easier. Ooh. Don't do that. Now we are going to reconnect the negative. Moment of truth time. There's my other gloves. Ooh, oh, that's not good. I got a belt or something I gotta take care of. But hey, and there you have it. That is how you change the starter for a Nissan 350z. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up or a like, a subscribe, anything. It all helps. If not, I hope this helped you get your car back on the road. Thanks for watching.